11 News starts with breaking news.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Melissa Raymond. We start with breaking news out of Allegheny County. Just in the last hour, the health department reported more than 1,000 new cases of COVID-19. New cases range in age from 2 months to 98 years. The median age is 41 years. There were also 41 new deaths between December 3rd and December 26th. The Senate could vote as early as today on giving Americans $2,000 stimulus checks. Last night, the House voted to increase the payments from $600 it approved last week. They did that after President Donald Trump said he wanted Americans to get that extra money. Most Democrats agree with the president, but the bill now heads to the Republican-controlled Senate, where it isn't guaranteed to pass. Channel 11 will continue to monitor the situation throughout the day. Of course, we'll send you an alert with the latest developments as they come in. Also last night, the House voted to override President Trump's veto of the National Defense Authorization Act. That bill is also headed to the Senate for a vote. The defense bill passed both the House and the Senate with overwhelming majorities. Those stimulus checks now aren't the only thing being disputed right now in Washington. The president's delay in signing the COVID relief package is already having real consequences for Pennsylvanians who rely on unemployment checks to make ends meet. Channel 11's Mike Holden explains how rough the next few weeks could be and where help is available.
Millions of Americans are struggling each day as the pandemic continues to drag out, and we're certainly feeling the effects right here in Pennsylvania. A delay in unemployment benefits could lead to another set of issues, and those say this is a very challenging time. State officials say federal jobless aid and assistance could be delayed for weeks. The state has reviewed the extended CARES Act. However, the federal government's delay in approving it and President Trump signing it late created some larger issues. The U.S. Labor Department may now wait several weeks before rolling out the guidelines to restart payments. This directly impacts more than 500,000 Pennsylvanians who receive funding through the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Assistance and Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation programs. And unemployed eligible workers are being encouraged to apply for other benefits like the following: health insurance through Penny Lifeline, Medicaid assistance, Meals on Wheels, and SNAP. Officials say although this is a very stressful time, assistance is out there.
We must receive guidance and approval from the Department of Labor before we can begin making these payments. Unfortunately, delays in getting the federal CARES Act extension signed into law has pushed back the arrival of this guidance, and this might mean that there's a few weeks until we can issue payments to claimants again.
And if you need some additional help or guidance, contact 211. That's the United Way. In addition, we have more resources posted to WPXI.com and the WPXI News app. Reporting this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Jessica Faith joins us now. And Jessica, still cold this afternoon, but I've been asking for it. Where's the sunshine? And it's here.
It's looking pretty good too. What a welcome change, and we deserve some sunshine. You're getting it this midday and even as we head into the afternoon hours. And just like Alyssa mentioned, we're still very cold. Earlier this morning, I mentioned not getting out of or getting above freezing. We're right at the freezing mark in Butler, 31 degrees right now in Pittsburgh, 28 in Washington. Taking a look at the updated numbers in about 15 minutes, I will break down when we could expect a warm up this week and also a sneak peek at rain chances as we go throughout the rest of this work week.
All right, Jessica, thank you so much. We're also getting a better idea of how the COVID vaccine will be given at local nursing facilities. The Kane Community Living Center says employees and residents are scheduled to begin getting vaccinated next week. Some of their facilities saw an outbreak of the virus in the fall. Yesterday, CVS Health began distributing the shots to 120 skilled nursing facilities across the state, including several right here in western Pennsylvania. New video just into Channel 11 of Vice President-elect Kamala Harris getting her COVID-19 vaccine today. There she is. Her vaccination comes exactly 1 week after President-elect Joe Biden received his vaccine. Harris's husband also got the vaccine. The daunting task of vaccinating Americans against COVID-19 just started, but is already falling short of a very important goal. The Trump administration's distribution efforts are off to a slower start than officials had projected. Channel 11's Jacqueline Fell takes a look at what's causing the holdup.
The CDC reports just more than 2 million people have received their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. The Trump administration's goal, though, was to have 20 million people vaccinated by the end of the year.
We certainly are not at the numbers that we wanted to be at the end of December.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says he thinks there will be some momentum in January that will hopefully get the U.S. caught up to the projected pace of the vaccinations. Health experts say a number of unanticipated snags have slowed the current process, highlighting the logistical complexity of this effort. The virus, meanwhile, is showing no signs of slowing down. Health officials say a post-holiday surge could make January the worst month for COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. President-elect Joe Biden is expected to fault President Trump and his team for the slower-than-expected rollout. He'll speak later today from Delaware after meeting with his COVID team about a vaccination plan. Right now, the current rate is around 1 million shots a week. Officials say in order to return to a sense of normalcy by spring, millions of shots need to be administered every day for months. Reporting outside Washington, Jacqueline Felt, Channel 11 News.
Mayor Bill Peduto and the Black Political Empowerment Project have announced their commitment to police reform. The changes include building a diverse and representative police force and building meaningful relationships between officers and city residents.
By listening to the community, openly discussing key issues, and responding with concrete step-by-step changes, you are leading the city of Pittsburgh in building greater police accountability.
BPEP Chairman and CEO Tim Stevens said it was the organization's hope that the agreed-upon reform measures will provide hope for the citizens of Pittsburgh.
Hands out to the side now!
A police officer in Columbus, Ohio, who shot and killed an unarmed black man last week has now been fired. That was Officer Adam Coy's voice that you just heard. Officers were called out about a suspicious car and found Andre Hill in a garage. Hill apparently was walking toward them with his cell phone when Coy opened fire. The director of the Department of Public Safety said deadly force was not reasonable in this situation. This was the second time in 3 weeks a Columbus police officer killed a black man in the line of duty. Investigators in Nashville continue to comb through the rubble left by that massive Christmas Day explosion. They know the name of the suspect, but his motive at this point is still unclear. Authorities say 63-year-old Anthony Warner acted alone and died in this blast. 3 other people were hurt. Luckily, their injuries weren't critical. But the blast damaged more than 40 businesses in that neighborhood. Business owners are still in shock.
I can't even wrap my brain around the fact that somebody would decide to do that to begin with, and on 2nd Avenue in Nashville, of all places in the world.
And you know, she isn't the only one scratching her head about this. A Tennessee man says he was neighbors with the bombing suspect. Steve Schmaltz said he used to visit with Warner over their shared fence there. He says he never got the sense that there was anything wrong, but he said learning the RV used in the bombing was parked just 15 from his home left him shaken.
We would joke around and talk, and you know, he never had any kind of like dark disposition or, you know, never said anything mysterious.
Schmold also said he thinks Warner wasn't trying to hurt anyone, and that's maybe why he blared a warning from the RV before it exploded. New at noon, Boeing's troubled 737 MAX is carrying U.S. passengers again. This here is new video of American Airlines flying the jet round trip between Miami and New York. The 737 MAX has been grounded since March 2019 following 2 deadly crashes. The FAA cleared the jets to fly again last month. 2 other U.S. airlines also own the 737 MAX, United Airlines and Southwest, neither of which have added the plane to their schedule just yet. More than a year after Pittsburgh voters approved a new tax to improve city parks, City Council set up a fund to start collecting the money, but not everyone is on board with this. Channel 11 Serafina James explains why the plan is getting pushed back.
After a year of back and forth, a controversial park tax has passed, meaning Pittsburgh voters will see a tax increase in the new year and improved parks down the line. Last year, Pittsburgh voters approved the 0.5 mil property tax increase, and as of yesterday, now so has Pittsburgh City Council. The new tax aims to improve city parks and would charge property owners $50 for every $100,000 of assessed property value, which is estimated to raise $10 million annually. The plan laid out by the Pittsburgh Parks Conservatory shows $57.9 million going into the city's over 160 parks. During Monday's meeting, council voted 6-3 to approve the Parks Trust Fund, and 3 council members made it clear they aren't in favor of this plan, citing that the tax increase, which is set to begin next year, will be a burden on homeowners.
I think this is a terrible time to be increasing the millage on people who are already cost burdened in the middle of a global pandemic.
I will be voting no on it today. Timing is just not right, and I don't think the tax was right to begin with.
Starting at 5, I'll tell you how that money will be used and where exactly it's going. I'll also tell you Mayor Bill Peduto's stance on the new tax. For now, in Pittsburgh, Serafina James, Channel 11 News.
A portion of Smallman Street in the Strip District remains closed indefinitely because of a sinkhole. Did you see this? Take a look at this if you haven't. This is at the intersection of 33rd Street. The hole opened yesterday and partially swallowed this forklift. We're told the operator is okay. Public Works told Channel 11 they just repaired a water main break in the same area. You know, that sinkhole happened close to where a massive water main break closed down the street back in 2019. Smallman was closed for weeks after a 36-inch water main broke. That was near the intersection of 16th Street in May 2019.
This has been a hard journey.
In the rush to vaccinate people against COVID, it could be easy to forget the people who are giving out the shots. After the break, why this new stage in the pandemic can be so emotionally trying. Plus, it was a rough year for many people's finances. So why did smartphones sell so well?
People asked how I felt, and I got very tearful. This has been a hard journey.
This local doctor here just got his COVID vaccine. He spends his days providing health care to low-income people, the uninsured and underinsured. But as you heard there, even the medical professionals can get emotional. Channel 11's Michelle Newell found out why getting this vaccine was such an important experience for him.
This is a moment Dr. George Garrow anxiously waited for.
A few minutes ago, I received the COVID vaccine.
And it literally brought him to tears.
What a great day. It was a very emotional occasion. After I got the vaccine, people asked how I felt, and I got very tearful. This has been a hard journey. A lot of us have been working really hard to protect our patients.
Dr. Garrow is the chief medical officer for Primary Health Network, the largest federally qualified health care center in Pennsylvania.
COVID is impacting rural communities at a high rate. And I really want to give a big thank you to the folks at the health department who have made this vaccine available to organizations like ours.
Primary Health Network received the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine last week and began administering it the same day.
We received 200 doses here in our Western Pennsylvania site, and then another 100 at one of our larger sites in central Pennsylvania, and then another 100 in the eastern part.
Dr. Garrow was first in line.
Wanted to get the vaccine early so that I could demonstrate to my colleagues, my coworkers, our staff, that I believe that the vaccine is effective and safe.
So far, about 75 employees are vaccinated. We spoke to one employee 20 minutes after she received hers.
I'm feeling great. It's just like I got the flu shot. I don't feel anything. I'm feeling excited. I was a bit nervous because that was the first time with the Moderna, but I had been researching it, and I was okay with it.
Dr. Garrow says his team extensively researched the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine, began preparing for its arrival early, and sent surveys to employees to get an idea of how they feel about it.
It's about half have said that they would accept it, and then about another 25% or so is on the fence, and then another 25% is saying no at this time, and that's okay. We'll continue to educate.
Dr. Garrow says it's been gratifying to answer questions and concerns any employee has had about the vaccine. He believes one of the key things needed to mitigate COVID-19 and have a successful vaccination campaign is trust.
We want our communities to know that they can trust us, and no community should be left behind.
I'm Michelle Newell for Channel 11 News.
Time right now is 12:17. A lot of parents are waiting to hear from their kids' school districts, wondering if they'll head back to school or just stick to virtual learning. Some school districts, such as Steel Valley and Shaler, are extending their remote learning programs due to the rising number of COVID-19 cases. Some districts also want to make sure students and staff can quarantine at home following the winter holidays, just in case they traveled. Pittsburgh Public Schools is set to continue with remote learning on January 4th. Their buildings will not reopen until at least the third week of January. And we are going to keep tracking the latest developments for all of our area school districts, both on air and through the WPXI News app. Meantime, one local school district extending online learning for another 2 weeks. Gateway schools will remain in remote learning through January 15th. In a letter to parents, the superintendent wrote the decision is based on information they get from the Allegheny County Health Department. While districts struggled to decide when to bring students back into the classroom, a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force says we need more information. Admiral Brett Gerard cited a recent CDC study that said attending school was not associated with positive COVID tests. In fact, a Brown study said the same. It showed in-person schooling does not increase the risk of transmission, but it remains unclear how easy it is for children to spread the virus. A new Harvard article suggests children don't contribute as much to the spread as others previously thought. As for a vaccine, Admiral Gura says kids don't need to be vaccinated before returning to school.
You're your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
It's been a pretty nice day with sunshine across the area all morning. We've been dealing with isolated spots of snowfall, some light snowfall, and we're looking at that right now in Indiana County. So taking a closer look at that. Indiana, you have some light snowfall right over you, the city of Indiana, and that is to the southeast of Katanning, also to the northeast there, just a few tiny spots in Armstrong County. So tracking that, and most of the activity throughout the morning hours have really been right around I-80 and in Venango County, looking to the south of Franklin, right around Clintonville. Still some flurries there, and that's pretty much about it. Today's really not a very active day. Looking at a good dose of sunshine. That's what we see right here, viewing from our tower cam. Hello, Pittsburgh. You're at 31 degrees. Wind coming in from the north-northwest at 14 miles per hour. That bit of wind making it feel colder, and that's when we talk about the wind chill, how it feels. So even though the actual air temperature, they are in the lower 30s and upper 20s for most, it feels about 10 degrees colder than the actual air temperature. It feels like 21 degrees in Pittsburgh, and it feels like 21 in Greensburg. Feeling very cold this midday in Indiana, and that's where that batch of snow is still falling. Some light snow showers. Feels like 23 degrees in Indiana. Somerset, you feel like you're in the teens, 18 degrees. Not really too much of an improvement as we head later into the afternoon. Temperatures struggle to reach the freezing mark, 32 degrees. Keep this in mind, the average high for this time of year should be in the upper 30s. So below average temperatures, but comes with sunshine. So not all bad as we go throughout the rest of the day. The good news is if you like the warmer temperatures, we will be warming up a bit, but kind of going on a little roller coaster as we go throughout the rest of this week. So down and then up, down and then up. So we have some warmer air coming in from the south tomorrow, getting us into the 40s, 45 degrees for the high for Wednesday. Still in the 40s, a little bit cooler, but we'll take it. 42 for Thursday, skyrocketing into the 50s, 55 degrees for Friday. As we go toward the end of the week, though, getting a little bit more active. In the next half hour of news, I'm going to show you the latest storm tracker to time out when we could see rain and snow and the widespread snow showers, or showers rather, we're going to see for Friday. So stick around to know when active weather moves back into the area. But overall, we're really looking good today. Again, isolated spots for flurries. Most of the area not having to worry about that. Worry about the cold. Have your winter coats on as you head out and about today. Getting very cold tonight, so that means tomorrow morning definitely going to need the winter coat in hand as you head out the door. Temperatures getting into the 40s. Showers late into the night, so your daylight hours on Wednesday looking good after sunset. We'll be dealing with some showers and very active conditions for Thursday and Friday, even as we go into the weekend. So as we close out this year and go into the next, looking active on Saturday, our first Saturday of the new year. Morning showers, a high of 48 degrees.
Jessica, thank you. Okay, take a look at this. Folks in Western France woke up to this sight. It's a sea of foam. Can you see this? A pretty big storm moving in from the Atlantic, and frigid temperatures combined to create the fluffy foam. The storm also knocked out power to thousands of people up and down the coast. Now to a new warning from the FBI, how cheats are using the COVID vaccine to steal your money and your information, and how a local organization is rewarding a young girl's brave fight against cancer and giving hope to others along the way. afternoon. Welcome back. Pennsylvanians are finding a new way to gamble during the pandemic. Internet gaming and sports betting are reaching new highs. Online gaming totaled $284 million in October. That's a 600% increase from last year. Rivers Casino on the North Shore shut down at the end of last month for the governor's new COVID orders. They saw a 40% drop in-person gambling in November. Up, up, and away, the new rules designed to make drone delivery a reality. And from Pittsburgh with love, and how a local school community is letting their former principal know he's not forgotten. Time right now, just about 12:30, and this is actually a live look right now at the U.S. Senate, so this is happening right now. Senators are debating whether to approve $2,000 in stimulus payments. President Trump said he was disappointed with the $600 payment Congress approved last week. The House approved the extra money last night. It's still unclear how the bill will fare in the Republican-controlled Senate, but tune in to Channel 11 News tonight at 5 because we'll let you know where the bill stands at that point and all throughout the day if you want to go to WPXI.com as well. As more people get the vaccine, concern is growing that some people may be trying to cash in on this. So the FBI is issuing a warning about scammers. Scams include ads or offers for early vaccine access for a fee or even even paying out of pocket to be on a vaccine waiting list, which the FBI says doesn't even exist. Things you should look out for include ads from unknown sources about the vaccine, FDA approval for any unverified vaccines, unsolicited emails or calls from someone claiming to be from a medical office, and an insurance company or vaccine center requesting your personal information. So how can you make sure you don't become a victim? The FBI says you should get up-to-date information on vaccine distribution. You should also consult your doctor before getting a vaccine. And remember, only share your personal or health information with a trusted medical professional. If you feel like you may be a victim of a COVID-19 fraud, you can report it to the FBI through their website, or you can call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Southwest Airlines says the new stimulus bill will help them avoid layoffs and pay cuts. Southwest was planning to furlough more than 6,800 workers this spring. The new $900 billion stimulus gives airlines and contractors $16 billion for worker payroll support. Southwest CEO says that they can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief right now. Southwest is the second largest passenger airline at Pittsburgh International Airport. The government is relaxing some rules for drones, and that could boost their commercial use. Among the changes here, the FAA says operators will now be able to fly small drones at night. Industry experts say those changes will make it easier for companies to use drones to deliver packages. The changes go into effect early next year. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Jessica Faith now joins us again. And Jessica, sunny and dry, but you're going to definitely need those extra layers today, so don't let that sun fool you.
Yeah, especially since we're still below freezing across the area. 31 degrees is the current temperature in Pittsburgh, and not getting too much better than that. The good thing, like Alyssa mentioned, we have the sunshine. There it is, looking behind me, coming onto the buildings there. The winds have been picking up just a bit, and we are much colder than this time yesterday. 16 degrees colder in Greensburg. Keeping it in the lower 30s today, but dry. Coming up in about 15 minutes, you'll want to stick around. I have details about an active end of the rest of this week.
The Mormon Church has been hit with several lawsuits for allegedly covering up decades of sexual abuse among Boy Scout troops. 7 alleged victims claim church officials never notified authorities about abuse allegations. Around 90,000 sexual abuse claims have been filed against the Boy Scouts. The Scouts filed for bankruptcy protection this year so it could set up a victims' compensation fund. The Brownsville Area School District joins a class action lawsuit against the e-cigarette maker Juul. The lawsuit claims the company is targeting school-aged children and has dramatically increased the use of e-cigarettes among Brownsville students. Pittsburgh Public Schools, North Hills, McKeesport, and Butler are also part of the lawsuit. Juul has said they're working with communities to combat underage smoking. The fight over TikTok continues. Yesterday, the U.S. government appealed a federal judge's order that overturned the Commerce Department's restriction on the Chinese-owned app. The Trump administration cited national security concerns, saying the Chinese government is using the app to collect your information. TikTok has more than 100 million users in the United States. If there's one thing you can count on, it's that Pittsburghers come together when times are tough. That's been especially true this year. We want to introduce you to a local nonprofit that's raising money and spreading smiles one family at a time. Here's Channel 11 Morning News anchor Catherine Amenta.
It's, one step of trying to get back to where we were a couple years ago, where we're not thinking about medicine every night.
In a year that was so difficult, the Caparellis say they have so many reasons to be thankful. Even 4-year-old Nora couldn't wait to share the wonderful news.
Guess what? This is my last chemo and last final tap.
Everybody in the whole city is so happy for you.
And thank you.
Pittsburgh first met Nora last year, right here on Channel 11. Can you say hi? When she took center stage at the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Light the Night. In 2018, Nora was diagnosed with ALL, or acute lymphoblastic leukemia. But now, a year later, her treatment is almost finished.
A bell ringing on January 14th.
After Nora rings that bell at UPMC Children's Hospital, marking the end of treatment, it's time to celebrate in Disney, courtesy of a group of Pittsburghers with such big hearts.
Mr. playing card to make a trip to Disney.
Ian Coyle is the founder and president of the local nonprofit Semper Gratis, which means always grateful. And his team organized this big surprise of an all-expense-paid trip and a truck full of toys for Nora, her big sister Addie, and mom and dad.
We want to be able to give back to as many people as possible, influence as many people as possible.
Ian's mission started 5 years ago as a DJ.
A buddy of mine joked that, you're eventually going to run out of friends that you're going to DJ weddings for. What are you going to do next?
What he did was start an organization that centers around his love of live events and raises money for causes all across Pittsburgh, including childhood cancer. To date, they've raised $100,000.
He's the epitome of kindness. And it's not just with our family. He's been doing this, for several years now, and his organization just keeps growing.
If people are able to see the good, they want to be involved in some form or fashion or go out and pay it forward for others to be good.
And now Ian says he can't wait for 2021 and hopefully the return of live events so their work can keep growing.
I can't wait. And I can only hope that our impact is bigger and badder and better.
As for Nora, 2021 is about health, happiness, and of course, Disney.
I wish you could be there too.
Oh my goodness, Nora. Thank you so much.
In Pittsburgh, Catherine Amenta, Channel 11 News.
Isn't Nora the cutest? We hope that leaves a smile on your face. If you'd like to learn more about how to help Ian and his team, we do have their website. We'll have it on our website too. It's sempergratispgh.org. So again, go to WPXI.com to see that.
Yeah, all of our neighbors were out trying to shovel themselves out, and they were just laughing because
while most people were shoveling snow this weekend, this family grabbed their dogs and hit the streets. But it wasn't all fun and games. The details of why that was coming up. The latest stimulus package will help save our stages. It's good news for the local businesses. An estimated $15 billion has been set aside for entertainment venues, including theaters and small clubs. The Small Business Administration will distribute the money. It will be based on size and revenue before the pandemic. The National Independent Venue Association issued a statement calling this a lifeline to the struggling industry.
We haven't seen our kids since January, February, so it's nice.
You can hear that emotion in there. Hundreds of older Floridians stood in line for hours on Monday. They were there to get their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. But it wasn't just about their own well-being. As you can hear, as we were just talking about from that emotion in that man's voice, it's also about reconnecting with their loved ones for the first time in months.
Hopefully having a life like everyone. We've, not been near our family. We have a little granddaughter, and he's over 70, diabetic. We thought, like everyone, this is a life or death vaccine.
County officials initially planned to vaccinate only 300 people. They ended up doubling that, vaccinating everyone that stood in this line. It's almost 2021. Here's a question. Are your finances in order? What you could do now to save yourself headaches and cash when tax season rolls around. Tax season will be here before you know it, and that means it's time to maximize your deductions before the clock strikes 12 on New Year's Eve. NBC's Dan Sheneman has the story.
Anyone making a list and checking it twice may want to add a charity.
There's never been a more important year to give than 2020, and there are so many organizations in need, but you can do it and give and lower your taxes in the process.
Those tax advantages can be substantial, according to Caleb Silver of Investopedia.
IRS imposes caps on the total value of the charitable contributions that may be deductible for a taxpayer of around 50%. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit under, but it has to be to a qualifying charitable organization under Section 170C of the Internal Revenue Code.
Along with cash, Silver says it's often a good idea to donate stocks and other investment products.
If you've got capital gains on that stock and you've held it for a long time, by donating it, you reduce the capital gains taxes you might have to pay if you kept it and sold it.
And instead of trading in that old car, it could be donated.
You can get a tax write-off for donating your car if your car is worth more than $500.
Silver stresses it's important to keep good records for tax purposes.
Many of the online tax businesses and even your online broker has a way of tracking your charitable donations so you can see how much you've given and how much it's going to offset the income taxes you're going to have to pay for the end of the year.
A chance to help others and yourself. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
Time right now is 12:45. Take a guess. What do you think was the best-selling tech product of 2020? All right, I'll give you 2 seconds. If you said the iPhone, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. 195 million were sold this year. Solid jump from 185 million last year. This is all according to a new analysis from USA Today. If the increase seems surprising, especially considering millions of Americans are out of a job, analysts said many people needed to upgrade their tech gear since they're working from home these days. A number of other Apple products saw a boost this year too, including AirPods, the iPad, and the Apple Watch. Samsung's Galaxy smartphone also saw a slight increase.
Your severe winter Teen 11 forecast.
Maybe you were tracking the flurries we had earlier this morning on your iPhone on the WPXI weather app. And we're looking quiet this midday. Just a few remaining spotty, isolated flurries in Indiana County, now to the south and southeast of Indiana. And that's pretty much about it. We're looking at a quiet day today with temperatures getting into the 30s, lower 30s. So a very cold day. Looking ahead to the rest of this work week on Wednesday, we're also looking quiet, maybe not as much sun as what we see today. A few peaks of sunshine as the clouds are on the move from the west toward the east. As we go into midday tomorrow, still looking quiet, a-okay, and we will be nice and quiet through the daylight hours. So if you're going to be out and about, you should be good to go. Now for the evening and nighttime hours, we're going to be watching this system increasing our rain chances from the northwest toward the southeast. So here are the evening and nighttime hours. Here's 9 o'clock, and you'll see rain coverage really increasing for us around this time. You'll hear the pitter-patter of raindrops throughout the nighttime hours as well. Looking at widespread coverage at this point, but also looking at so much colder air coming in, giving us a chance for some ice and for some snow. That chance increases from midnight throughout the overnight hours, so not only increasing our rain chance, increasing our chance for some wintry precipitation that can make things a little more interesting going into the last day of 2020. Would it be 2020 if we didn't have an interesting weather day? So as you get going on Thursday morning, know that there could be some ice and snow on the roadways, still some snow falling, especially those south of I-80, so around the Pittsburgh area, also Indiana, and points toward the south, even some ice mixed in as well. So it ushering in some much colder air. Now, as that system moves along, we do continue to clear out, especially during the afternoon hours. Now, some models have hinted at maybe some remaining moisture in the area, but really looking quiet for most of the area. And I would say any remaining moisture will be south of Pittsburgh. And as we go throughout the rest of this year, the remaining few hours, 10 o'clock to around midnight, we're going to be increasing our rain chances from the south toward the north. So bringing in the new year on a soggy note, increasing rain chances from the south toward the north. And also some models have hinted at maybe some ice before we're looking at mostly just rain here. So that will be something to monitor. We're going to continue to fine tune these details. So continue to check in with Severe Weather Team 11 for the latest on the active weather New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And hey, we even have a chance for showers going into the first Saturday of the new year. Some morning showers. At least today was the last really cold day on the 5-day forecast. We increase highs into the 40s and even 50s on Friday.
Soak in that sunshine, Jessica. While a lot of people were out recently with shovels and snow blowers over the weekend, a mother-daughter duo, they were out with their dogs. Amy Onyak and her daughter have been participating in sled dog racing for years. Look at them here. So when they woke up to a white Christmas, they decided to make the best of it by enjoying a ride in the streets of their neighborhood outside of Cleveland.
It was a magical surprise to wake up and see all this awesome snow and just to be able to have fun outside and, you know, especially with everything that's going on now, we're just trying to make the best of it.
Did you catch her mask there too? It's pretty cool. The family says they usually travel to Michigan for races, but they can't compete this year because of COVID-19. Time right now is 12:50. Here's local Steals and Deals, Lisa Robertson.
Hey, Lisa Robertson here with Local Steals and Deals, and oh my gosh, you are going to want to hear this. This is the Clean Light Air. I love this, and right now I'm just thinking of how many I'm going to get, so here's why. This little device can clean a room up to 160 square feet. What do I mean by clean? I mean this cleans the air. There's a HEPA filter in here. It's a HEP 13 HEPA filter that cleans the air 360 degrees around. It actually takes 99% of the particles out of the air. Particles as small as smoke and dust and pet dander and pollen and all of VOCs and all those things nobody wants to be breathing in, takes them out, right? But then there's more, because after it goes through the HEPA filter, it goes through a UVC LED light that kills, wait for it, 99.99% of the bacteria and germs, takes out 99% of the bad particles, and then kills 99.99% of the bacteria and germs. So this is one where I think, wait a minute, number one, I want one of these, and I want one in my kitchen. That's where I tend to spend my time. I want one that I can take with me in the car when I'm riding around. I want one that can be, in the office when I'm working. This is something I was thinking, wait a minute, I have a niece who's going to be going off to college. I really want to get her one of these for her dorm room. I have a nephew who's studying at home. I want to get one of these for him for one in his bedroom when he's in there studying all the time. I want to get one of these for my dad. He and his wife are home all the time. This is a time when we're all trying to do those basic common sense things to make ourselves safer, make our families safer, make the people we love safer. Isn't it amazing that it can be as small and simple as this is? Oh, it even works for aromatherapy. You can use essential oils, make the air smell great, and charge your cell phone while you're using it. All of this is 25% off on localsteals.com. I wish I had more time because, oh my gosh, is it amazing. But trust when I tell you, you're going to want a lot of them. I know I do.
Talk about a nice way to end the year. A winning ticket for the Pennsylvania Lottery's New Year's Millionaire Raffle was sold in Allegheny County. The ticket for the 7th weekly drawing prize was sold at Puff Discount Tobacco in North Versailles. The winning number is on your screen here. It's 00267-607. The ticket is worth $100,000. The game's main drawing will be held January 2nd.
I just feel so humbled and blessed.
Bill Fisher there was the principal at Taylor Alderdice High School for 20 years. Look at him. And after giving so much to his students, they're now giving back to him. Earlier this month, a graduate posted in the alumni Facebook page asking members who were inspired by Principal Fisher to send him a holiday card. And just 10 days later, he's already received more than 300 cards, actually from all across the country. Isn't that so cool? Fisher served as principal from 1971 to 1991. He's now 96 years old and lives in Juniper Village Nursing Home in Forest Hills. We got a chance to talk to him about what this means to him.
It makes me feel good. Of course, happy all the time that they recognize me as a good principal.
Principal Fisher and his wife can't have any visitors because of COVID, but he tells us hearing from so many of his students brings him comfort during the holidays. Hope that leaves you with a smile on your face that you can enjoy all day long. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. You can get breaking news updates anytime on our streaming apps. Just search WPXI on Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire. Have an incredible day, everyone.